Hi, my name is Jeremy, this is Red Beans Recording, and today I'm going to touch all of these things and also touch this thing and talk to you about this thing. What is it? I'm glad you asked. Zoom in and I'll tell you. Closer. Better. Closer. It's the Sound Devices MixPre-10M. Alright, let's go. Until I got the Sound Devices MixPre-10M, my hardware collection was mostly just gathering dust. Now that I have the MixPre-10M, I can record 8 channels at once and 12 channels in total, meaning that I can do overdubs and jamming with my DAWless jamming setup hardware, which is the real way to make music, not computers. Alright, so this is the MixPre-10M. Let's do a quick rundown of the hardware itself. On each side here, there are 4 Nutric connector inputs. So that's a XLR, TRS, TS combo. You can plug either a instrument cable or a mic cable in there. Each one supports phantom power, and yeah, it will accept mic or line level signals, which is pretty dope. Right here, I have a USB drive plugged in. This is going to allow me to auto copy everything I've recorded on here in the background while the device is running, which is pretty cool. You can copy full sessions over here as well, manually if you want. This right here is the X1/X2 output. It's an alternative output to the headphone and left-right output over there. I've got it plugged into my mixer that's over there, and that's going to the speakers. You can use it for whatever you want, and you can assign it to whatever you want. Here are your channel input knobs. They rotate and they push, and they have different functions depending on what you do. Right here is a little joystick. Up records, down plays, and you can move through the session with your cue points with this little guy right here. It's pretty nice. Here's the screen. It's a touch screen. You can touch it and do things. And a lot of devices that are kind of specialty like this can have really, really confusing menu systems, but I actually found that I was diving into this really fast and getting a lot done really quickly within the first couple days of using it. I've only had this for a week, so I am surprised I got up and running so quickly. And finally over here we have an 1/8" headphone output, and right here, which you can't see at the moment, there are 2 TA3 outputs, which are these mini XLRs, and this acts as your main left-right out. You can get adapters that go from TLA to XLR or whatever you want. Also, there's a USB-C jack over here, and this thing can act as an audio interface when plugged in with the computer, which is really, really, really cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a new song, and we're going to record it, and hopefully you'll understand a bit about the device as I go through that. So the first thing I'm going to do is go into Menu, Project, New. There are a couple ways to move around the interface of the MixPre-10M, and one of them is over here. This is the headphone out volume knob, but it also acts as a data knob. We're going to call this RMR. Press down on the knob to enter data. Fantastic. Okay. Create that thing. I can change my sample rate here, as you can see if I want, but 48's just fine. Okay, so now we have a new song. You can see over here, channels 1 through 8 are selected. That would mean that channels 1 through 4 and 9 through 12 are selected, but I want to mess with 1 through 8. I have the Elektron Digitakt plugged into 1 and 2. I have the bass station plugged into 3. I'm going to do vocals or overdubs on 4. 5 and 6 are the Access Virus Indigo, and 7 and 8 are the Digitone. So the way that I would set all this stuff up is I can actually press down on any of these channels and I'm brought into the actual track itself. And here's where I can set the inputs, mic or line, what input it's actually being fed from. You can feed any channel that you're recording in here from any of these inputs. So you don't have to record mic pre 1 and 2 onto track 1 and 2. You can reassign, which is how you do tracks 9 through 12. So I've got my input set. I want to do monitor and arm on. That means that I am arming that track for recording, and I'm going to listen to it. I can set my gain here for it. I've already set gain for these things because I've been practicing with this. I do not want to mute it. Pressing up here, where these little dots are, we'll go to the second part of the menu. And here's where you can set things like pan, a low cut filter, your phase, whether or not you want the reverb to be sent to it or not. And I have reverb on the bass station I can show off in a bit. And one of the cool things, which is linking. Obviously, some of these synths are stereo, so I'm going to want the tracks to be linked stereo. So pushing 1 and 2 there means that now tracks 1 and 2 are linked. And I only have to mess with the gain knob for 1 for that stereo pair to have its gain messed with. So I'm just going to go through here and set my inputs back to the way they were. So now I'm prepared to record all those tracks, and all I have to do is hit record. All right, so now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how I'm actually going to record this and what's going on with the hardware setup here. This is an Access Virus Indigo, this is a Base Station 2, this is the Elektron Digitone, and this is the Elektron Digitakt. These two can do MIDI sequencing, this one can do sampling, this one can do FM synthesis, this is a subtractive analog synthesizer, and this is an amazing virtual analog synthesizer. So I have my drums on the Digitakt. I have a 4-part FM thing going on, 4 tracks of FM here. The Digitone is sequencing the Base Station, and the Digitakt is sequencing the Access Virus. I'm going to record all of this in one pass to individual channels on the MixPre, and then I'm going to go back and record bass, pads, and a lead. We could do whatever we want. We have 12 channels. Let's start touching things. Okay, so I recorded 7 channels of audio from all that gear onto those 7 tracks that I read right there. And now I want to go do some overdubs. So I'm going to use channels 9, 10, and 11, and 12. And the first thing I want to do is go in and de-arm these and turn off monitor. Now I want to go over to tracks 9, 10, 11, and 12 and make sure that they are getting input from the synths that I want to use for this. So now that I've clicked 9, 10, 11, 12, these become 9, 10, 11, and 12. And you can see that I already have some stuff going on here. So click 9. See how it says 9? It also says off. That means that you're not going to hear anything unless you go down and have the knob do a soft takeover and come back up. So that's great. We want track 9 to be inputted from input 7. And it's already set because I already did it earlier, so that's great. We're gonna hit back, we're gonna hit arm and monitor, double check that tracks 9 and 10 are linked. Cool. So now we can see that tracks 9 and 10 are being fed by the virus, which was tracks 7 and 8 before, and you can see tracks 7 and 8 are now not really doing anything. They'll play back what we played on it, but we're feeding 7 and 8 to 9 and 10 now, which is exactly what we want. All right, we want track 11 to be fed by track 3, which is the Base Station, because we're gonna do bass. So make sure that we've got that selected. Go into track 11, set the input to 3, go back, arm it, monitor it, and now you can see that track 11 is getting fed from the Base Station. So we're ready to record 3 more tracks. Let's do that. Okay, we just recorded bass. Now we're gonna do another pass on the virus here with some pad key things. And you're probably like, why aren't you doing the whole song? I wanna see the whole song. Well, I wanna show you how the different recordings happen at different times, and then you can go watch the video with the whole jam in it, like it's a separate video. Why are you complaining? I give you this for free. You just always complaining. Anyways, let's do this. Okay, so we've recorded Digitakt and Digitone, we've recorded Base Station, we've recorded Virus, we did another pass of Base Station and Virus. So next I think I want to record a solo on the Base Station. So I'm going to route the Base Station into another channel on the MixPre and just go to town like I have the rest of the stuff. So there, we did it. We recorded all of this gear to the MixPre, and now I have a bunch of WAV files that I can take out of this thing and bring into a computer and just master if I want. I can render a track right in the MixPre to a 2-track if I want to share it. It's pretty damn cool. Dallas jamming. That's the MixPre-10M from Sound Devices. I want to thank Sound Devices for sending over the review unit to play with. It's been really fun, and I'm excited to continue to use it as part of my hardware setup. They also sent over this little 3-channel one, the MixPre-10M. It's 3 channels instead of Wait, is that right? 3. I'm gonna give this away. I don't need it. I got this one. Why do I want this? I don't. So I'm gonna give it away. Check the video description to see how you can win this little guy. And yeah, thanks for watching. My name is Jeremy. This is Red Beans Recording, and I hope you have a wonderful day.